This is the Xtar. Dude, what's the model number? What up, I'm I from Ask God Solar, where I like to keep solar simple. Let's just get right into it. Xtar sent me this panel. I finally have my first bifolding panel, and I'm like, man, I'm all about it. Just open it up. Done. That's it. This thing has great build quality. It has the magnetic flaps on the end, super easy to move, super easy to use. Before I get into this super interesting aspect of this panel, which I wasn't a fan of at first, let's just talk about the preliminary things. It has an 8mm jack built in. It does not have MC4, but the company was really thoughtful and they sent out an 8mm to, you know what, hold on, let me. They sent one of these, 8mm to MC4. So at the onset, this pretty much has all of my solar power needs covered. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I would have much rathered a 5521 with some adapters and then a 5521 to 8mm, but that's because I have a lot of 5521 power stations. You may have a Jackery, you may have an EB70, you may have an wait 1 second. One more second, just give me a second. You may have an or I know that one. Or some other power station that has an 8mm port. I'm having issues with that. I gotta reach out to them. Something else that they put in the box, they gave you a super long 8mm extension cable, which is dope. And they gave you an 8mm to 5525, not 5521. You know. I'm happy about this because I have a power station. Actually, the bull bat takes 5525. So I can use this out of the box. Boom. But by far, one of the most interesting things about this solar panel, both negative and positive, kinda, is that it doesn't have any other ports built into it. That's where this little thing comes in. This is a little junction box that you can hook your 8mm cable into, and it gives you a bunch of ports. Most notably, it's a USB-C PD port, but why didn't they make this 60 watts? They made it 45. 60 watts would have been great. My first impression was, why don't they have the ports built in? And then when I got it, which is why it's important for people like me who make YouTube videos to have products kind of in hand, because it kind of unlocks some things. I'm not personally one to charge things direct from the panel, like cell phones, tablets, power banks. But if you are that kind of person, the dope thing about this thing is it gives you distance. You can take that super long cable, but then you can also extend it with the extension dip, and this gives you space to get your devices away from your panel. That blinking is the camera, not this. You can see how it says USB, and then that says Type C. And it'll just cycle through showing you the voltage and amps that are used. So this is what I meant by, like, you get this out of the sun and have your MacBook, laptop, whatever you have, your cell phones, your cameras, charging out of the sun. I think that that's pretty cool. Typically what people would do, because power cables aren't that long, you would plug your cell phone into a solar panel, you just put your cell phone under the solar panel. With this, you get distance away. You can even kind of bring this inside and be able to use it. I think that that's really interesting, and it's a good spin on what people are used to, which is having the ports inside. Because this panel is folding, and it's a bifold, it's really easy to set up and deploy. I'm a lay a panel flat kind of guy, just to kind of get it out there and get some sun, but it does have nice sturdy legs on it. And this one actually has legs that have various degrees of deployment. So you could put it like a little flatter in the summer, and then you could put it higher in the winter when the sun is lower. I just think that they really were very thoughtful about this panel. It has this little pouch that holds the cable in. Like, it doesn't have any other junction boxes to protect. It's just this one cable, and you can see it's a good bit of cable. I will throw it out in the sun and put some footage right here. You could check out the power that I'm getting. Bullbat takes in 5525, so I'm going to use that. The Bullbat can also take in up to 160 watts. I have it charging a smart list because this one's been full the last few days. 8mm 5525. Let's see what happens. Oh, it would help if I turn the panel over, huh? Come on. Wait, now it's not showing any input. I imagine that's because... Okay, there it goes. It's showing 90 watts right now. 90 freaking watts. And it's at a pretty good angle. So I typically like the $2 per watt hour as it relates to these folding panels, but I think, you know me, if you follow the channel for any amount of time, I'm kind of like really budget minded. Not necessarily cheap, but I'm just mindful of my coins. I don't camp. I don't go out in the woods. I don't necessarily need portability per se. But if you're someone who needs portability, who needs something that's easy to deploy, that's the thing that I really like about these bifolding panels. They're easy to deploy. The trifold panels are cool. They're easy-ish too, but those quad folds, it's like, man, I'm not a fan of that. So the design that goes into this, the simplicity, the magnets, the ease of having just one cable. Granted, it's not MC4, it's 8mm, but it's kind of like the Jackery style panel, so I get that. It has a junction box that adds functionality. One could wonder if maybe they could update that junction box in the future to have 60 watts in it, to have multiple ports in it, more than what they have now, which is one quick charge, 2 regulars, and then 1 USB-C PD. So I do think that if you're into something that's easily deployable, you need to kind of come to terms with the price. That's on y'all. Like I say, my pockets ain't your pockets. Some people need the flexibility, the mobility, and the ease of deployment as it relates to their lifestyle. And some people just got the coins like that. What do you think about this junction box? Would you rather have the plugs inside the panel, or would you rather have the plugs how they deployed it, which is this wire attaches to the cable and gives you flexibility? I like that flexibility, man. It gives you space. You don't have to sit right up on your panel. I think that's a genius idea. It is holla.